Happy St. Patrick's Day, gamers! I'm LotusCrane, and today I'll be reviewing VA-11 Hall A, better known as Valhalla, Cyberpunk Bartender Action. This is a visual novel with some bartender simulation elements, developed by Sukeban Games and published by Isbrit Games. It's $15 in the Steam store, and has a Metacritic score of 77, which I actually think is a bit on the low side, because this is good both as a visual novel, and the bartending element is kind of fun too. Well, let's see. Drinks, I think I'm covered, and I actually have a whole bunch of bottles behind me below the camera. And yes, I am picking a new game for a reason. I actually, I haven't quite beaten the game yet. I'm on day 4. But I don't want to spoil the game too much, so I'm going back and doing day 1. That way, you can still choose to get and play this game, and you'll just be seeing day 1 a little early. Well, that's a little creepy. In the playable prologue, which I believe means first. Alright, where's my bottle opener? Your membership to Shining Fingered. Is that supposed to be a G Gundam, G Mobile Fighter Gundam reference? So, your main character, Jill, she's quite fortunate in the fact that she actually has a decent boss. Any of you who have ever worked any sort of job, and I've had a few, really, whether or not a job is enjoyable or not, it's hugely dependent on whether or not your boss is actually a likable, considerate person. Which Jill's boss, Dana, totally is. So this game takes place in the year 2070X. And it's a cyberpunk genre, so dystopian, future of like cyborgs and whatnot. So you can obviously compare this to Blade Runner, or oh snap! You know what? I already kind of messed up. I'm not supposed to have a kids show running in the background of these more mature titles I play. This isn't so mature that I needed to like put like a not safe for work in front of it. But, there we go. Bug Crisis. That's other cyberpunk genre show. Actually, this also reminds me of Read Only Memories, which, so, I got Read Only Memories forever ago. I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. And I looked at, like, a spoiler form for this game. I know, I shouldn't have. But, at the very least, this game takes place in the same universe as Read Only Memories. It may actually be considered to be a sequel to Read Only Memories, so now I need to go back and play Read Only Memories and probably review that, because I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. I'm kind of glad that I started playing this in time for St. Patrick's Day. I thought it was appropriate, right? St. Patrick's Day, a holiday that, in modern times, has a lot to do with drinking. So why not play a bartender simulation? And I know, I don't have Guinness or Killian's or another Irish beer in my fridge. We just went through some crazy blizzard for 2 days, so I got snowed in. I didn't have a chance to run to the liquor store. So it's Lagunitas Little Something, Sumpin Ale, and this is not a paid endorsement. I'm not an employee or otherwise affiliated with Lagunitas. They're not giving me any money to do this. I kind of hope that, like, they don't, like, give me a cease and desist or like sue me or something saying I'm not allowed to have product placement in this video, I probably should have paid more careful attention to that part of the YouTube training. But anyway. Good beer, LotusCrane approved. I mean, I don't drink beer that often, just because I feel full and bloated before I actually feel tipsy, but, well, if I'm gonna drink beer, may as well drink decent beer. Anyway, you could have been reading this entire article by the augmented eye if I had actually kept scrolling as I was talking about alcohol and being snowed in. I don't know. I guess if you label yourself, it's different than if someone calls you that. I mean, she must have purchased this shirt of her own volition. Alright, let's go to work. I guess he kind of does. By the way, I love the music in this game. It reminds me a little bit of like the music from Persona, even though Persona is not really a Cyberpunk game. Oh, you can also mess with the TV in the background. I'd buy that for $1. That's like a RoboCop reference. Oh, RoboCop, now that's some Cyberpunk dystopia right there. I feel like we should all prepare ourselves for some kind of dystopia, even if it's not a Cyberpunk dystopia, because a certain angry orange Muppet is in office right now, so... Oh, there's Anna, freaking us out. I guess if the economy tanks or grows but is totally dominated by a bunch of autocrats and plutocrats and there's no other productive jobs available, I guess I would consider bartending. Of course, these aren't traditional alcohols. We live in a future where you just mix random chemical agents together and they approximate the alcohols that we're familiar with. Okay, 2 addle hides, 3 Bronson extracts. Hopefully, I've actually wondered if that's supposed to be for Charles Bronson, the actor from the Death Wish B action movies that were popular in like the 80s and early 90s. So if you mix for less than 5 seconds, it's mixed. If you mix for more than 5 seconds, it's blended, and you'll know because the shaker will speed up. Wow, $60 for what appears to be cup ramen? That is some crazy inflation. Okay, right now it's 2017. This takes place in the year 2070X, so let's say like 53 to 63 years. So let's say like 58 years from now. So right now, I think you can still get a cup ramen for about $1. So yeah, that is a crazy amount of inflation. I have no idea how that's possible. Okay. Actually, my favorite song is probably this one. This reminds me a lot of Persona songs. And then I kind of actually forget. Pretty much almost all of the music in this game is pretty fantastic. Assuming that you grew up with certain kinds of video games or anime. In most cases, it's like super nostalgic. what's this considered? Synthwave, maybe? It's not chiptunes. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is synthwave. Which means a big beer. Yeah, this part of the riff. Doesn't this sound like Persona? Man, now I want to play Persona again. Actually, Persona 5 is coming out pretty soon, so... yeah. Do I get a PlayStation 4 just to play Persona 5? I mean, I can get the PlayStation 3 version, but... we'll see. I still have a couple weeks to decide on that. Oh, yeah. So, big means doubled ingredients. Because apparently, in the grim future of Valhalla, or Read Only Memories, there's not just one New Jersey, but there's 3 New Jerseys. Because you can't say new New Jersey, and definitely not new Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey 3. New Jersey the 3rd? Well... Donovan D. Dawson. Yeah. He's totally not a ripoff of, what was it, J. Jonah Jameson? I'm probably mixing one of those names up. The editor of, the Daily Bugle from Spider-Man. Less hair and more of a tan, but otherwise, yep. This guy is, blowhard. Who will do anything for subscriptions. Wildcard hacker, power-suited vigilantes. By the way, I know I have Bulgum Crisis running in the background of a bunch of my more mature title games. It's a fantastic show. But definitely the 8-episode OVA from the 1980s. The 20-something episode TV series remake or reboot from the 1990s. Oh, I was so disappointed with that show. But yeah, I actually personally rewatch this entire thing at least once a year. I love Bulgum Crisis. Plastic surgery for the missus and her kids? Who's giving plastic surgery to children? Well, I mean, reconstructive if they've been in an accident, but... I mean, if they're still kids, they're gonna keep growing. They're gonna need, like, additional plastic surgery once their face shape changes again just naturally. Apparently professional wrestling, especially the luchador variety of masks, that is still popular in the year 2070 something. That doesn't go away. Oh, you suck, really? Just stringing along interns, and you're never actually going to make them full-time employees? Who needs to wait for a dystopian future? That stuff is going on right now. Well, after a while, you just start to memorize the recipes. He's still cleaning up the mess in the bathroom from the weekend of sentient, talking corgis, drinking alcohol. That's one of the interesting things about this game. Like, there are a couple characters like Donovan or Ingram who, like, you know that they're supposed to be like douchebags or jerk faces, right? Like, they're written as, you know, kind of being not like completely villainous, but like unlikable. But at the same time, they wind up saying things that are either true to some extent, or like they don't make them sympathetic per se, but understandable, right? Like, even people who you ultimately decide were like bad human beings, they do have background stories. They do have reasons for why they eventually became bad human beings. And so really, if you want to prevent people from like kids growing up to becoming bad grown-ups, you need to address those issues on a societal level. And like focusing on just individuals being bad as opposed to why they became bad, and then thinking of ways to prevent society from producing bad people. Like, that's why bad people keep being produced by society, because we don't want to address the issues in society that make people turn out bad. Like, we totally glorify wealth and success, and we prioritize that over being decent and honest and hardworking. So of course that means society will produce really greedy, selfish, inconsiderate people. If you want society to produce better people, then you have to say, no, it's not that important to become wealthy or successful or powerful. It's more important just to be kind to your fellow human beings. I mean, if that becomes the priority of society, then society produces better people. Yeah, oh, Ingram. I forgot he's on day one. Man, two douchebags. Dawson and Ingram. Okay, let's give you a gut punch, by which I mean a drink. Because of the Corgi party on the weekend. Oh wow, shoutouts. I totally forgot. Okay, normally I do shoutouts at the beginning or sometimes the end of a video. So 2 shoutouts. First, I'm gonna give a shoutout to DonWish03 for recommending this game. And second, I want to give a shoutout to, I don't really use people's real names. Alright, there's a female bartender at Osteria, I think a Vetri restaurant in Philadelphia. Great restaurant, but made even better by like the most amazing bartender. So, I mean, I don't think you're gonna be watching this video anyway, but lady bartender from Osteria, whose name starts with a K, if you're watching this video, you are like the best bartender ever. I don't regret giving you like a 50% cash tip. That it was worth it, even though the drinks were expensive to begin with. But yeah, that chartreuse-based cocktail was amazing, as was like the performance that you put on when you were making it. So yeah, no regrets tipping 50%. That's 50% for a superb bartender. Man, even though this is only one beer, I mean, granted, it's 7.5%. I mean, I guess that's like twice as strong as some beers. And I drank this on a relatively empty stomach. Alpaca, what? Yes, because when you get really drunk, you believe that you're an alpaca. But then, so yeah, that's why the writing in this game is so great. Because both Donovan, Dawson, and this guy, they're both clearly jerks, and, like, you wouldn't like them in real life, right? Unless you're kind of like a jerk yourself, in which case, I don't know, birds of a feather flock together. But, like, they give extremely human backstories, very human reasons for being jerks. Oh, this song is good too. What song is this? This is also a song that sounds like it could be from Persona. You know, normally these reviews are supposed to be like 20 minutes long, and I really meant for this to not be more than like 30 minutes. Because I've gotten some criticisms that my reviews run entirely too long. My reviews are like so long that they're basically short playthroughs. I mean, a full playthrough of this game would be like 10 or 12 hours, I think, but... Wait, no. Let me think. At the rate I played them, because sometimes I read slowly, or sometimes I'll reload a day if I made a mistake, so that I get it right. I mean, really, this is going to be like a 20-hour game for me, but for most people, it's probably like a 10-hour game. So, I mean, even this video runs like 40 or 50 minutes long. It's not like it's a full playthrough, but it is kind of excessively long for a mere review, right? But so one of the reasons why I run such really long reviews that are like 20, 30, 40 minutes long is I want to give people a really honest and complete idea of what the game is like, right? Certainly by the end of this, you're not going to have any illusions as to what this game is or isn't. Because like those trailers, a lot of those promotional trailers for games, they just like cherry pick the best or like most exciting parts to make it into like a 30-second to like 2-minute kind of soundbite or like iBite, really. Like, think about that debacle with No Man's Sky. Some people were upset about No Man's Sky not being the game people thought it would be from the trailers, right? So, if you're willing to spend like the 20, 30, 40 minutes to watch one of my reviews, and you will know exactly what the game is like by watching me play one of them for 20 minutes. Like, even in the Steam store, when you watch a gameplay video, those are only like 3 to 5 minutes long, right? And you still might not know exactly what experience to expect. So yeah. So on the one hand, I do apologize that my reviews run a little too long, and occasionally a little too boring, and then especially a little too political, right? But if I'm going to be playing a game, especially covering these kind of themes, for 20, 30, 40 minutes, while drinking copious amounts of alcohol, as I do in many of my videos, though, I mean, this is one of the few times where I, like, made it really blatant. So usually I just have it in a nondescript, inconspicuous, you know, cup or mug or glass or something, so you don't really know what I'm drinking, but hint, most of the time it's some kind of alcohol. Yeah, I like to say you get the full, honest picture of a game, and of me as a human being, by watching one of these videos. There we go. Wow. I should at least finish this video before this episode of Bottom Crisis ends. I mean, I even started this episode late, which means, yeah, this video is going to run like 15 minutes at this rate. That's another Bottom Crisis reference. Asagiri? One of the Night Sabers is Priscilla Asagiri. Yep. The people who made this game, at Sukeban, you guys totally watched Bottom Crisis, right? There's no way they didn't watch Bottom Crisis. They must love the show too. If I ever get a chance to meet Sukeban games at like a video game or anime convention, I'm gonna have to reminisce about Bottom Crisis with them. She's wearing a hard suit. So cold, sweet, not too big. That's not the one she wants yet. Okay, sure. Actually, you know, earlier I was saying $60 for a cup ramen is ridiculous, but this is $180 for a cocktail. I mean, inflation, right? Actually, if you told me you could get a quality cocktail for just the price of 3 cup ramens, I would say, wow, that's a really cheap cocktail. So... Well, granted, these are being made from a weird chemical concoction. They're not like the authentic item. So yeah, I guess for a totally like artificial version of a cocktail, costing 3 times as much as a cup ramen, that makes some sense. Oh, this one's the first one that's blended. So we wait 5 seconds or more, and it speeds up, and it's considered blended instead of mixed. White Knights, as opposed to Night Savers? I'm sorry, I really do love Vulcan Crisis. It's one of my favorite animes of all time. Have I mentioned I watch Vulcan Crisis at least once a year? Sometimes more. If I watch it twice a year, then I sit through both the dubbed and subbed version. On the years on which I only watch it once, I generally go with Japanese voices and English subtitles, but I mean, English dubs aren't terrible by like 1980s or 1990s standards, but let's just say that before Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, I had no real reason to watch English dubs. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. I actually got a chance to meet her once at Otakon, but I forget which year's Otakon. You know, I think the Kotaku review of this game mentioned that it's like a William Gibson novel. I mean, I guess I should read more William Gibson novels then, because I certainly like reading this story. I mean, good story, good music, and the occasional bartending simulation. Actually, some of you who've watched my previous videos might be thinking, hey, story, a little simulation-ish stuff. Is this like Papers, Please? Yes and no. It is fair to compare the presentation and gameplay to Papers, Please. But whereas I think I gave Papers, Please a meh because it was just entirely too depressing and unfun. Because I don't want to pretend I'm a border crossing guard. I don't want to ruin people's lives, possibly get them killed by turning them away from the border. If I'm going to pretend doing some mundane daily job, I would rather be a bartender and, you know, conversate with people, maybe even improve their lives by dispensing a friendly ear and useful advice. Yes, okay. This is what I was waiting for. Okay, I'm probably going to end the video shortly after this, because... yeah, I mean, if I'd actually started this video at the beginning of the video, this episode at the beginning of this review, it'd already be over. So, the Brantini. In the universe of Valhalla, 6 aldehydes, whatever that is, 3 powdered deltas, even more questionable, 1 carmotrine, aged and mixed. So obviously I can't follow whatever recipe they're using here. Brantini, that sounds like a brandy martini, right? So you'd replace the gin with brandy. So I actually looked up recipes for like Brantini. There is no Brantini in real life, but a brandy cocktail that was like martini. I found a recipe for that. And I don't have the exact ingredients, but I have some approximate ones. I also don't have a shaker. I mean, I know when my friends bought me a shaker set as like a birthday Christmas gift some years ago, but for the life of me, I can't find it. Like, the part of my room that's below view of the camera, it is a mess. So I don't know where my Benedictine is, I don't know where my shaker is, I don't know where like half of my console games are. They're somewhere. But, right, ingredients for this. So, the recipe I found online, I kind of forgot the website and the name, but it was equal parts brandy, and I cannot find my bottle of regular brandy, so here's some Calvados, which is an apple brandy. I really hope I don't mess up this video and have to reshoot, because I'm gonna get tipsier than usual if I have to drink another Lagunitas and prepare and drink another one of these cocktails. So, let's see. Sweet vermouth. They wanted me to use like a sweet white vermouth. I'm ashamed to say I don't actually have that in stock, so I'm using sweet red vermouth. And I am like a little suspicious. They said equal parts brandy vermouth and Grand Marnier. I kind of feel like it should be like a 2-1-1 ratio, not a 1-1-1 ratio, but I mean, I've never made this before. So actually, this is my first time. I don't even know if it's going to taste good, but when I saw them drinking a Brandtini in this, I was like, I want to drink a Brandtini too. And I don't have Grand Marnier. I know, right? I had a bottle of Grand Marnier. I think I gave it to like my friend's wife to make soufflés with, so I don't have that anymore. So I have Cointreau instead. Cointreau? Cointreau. I don't know, French. Whatever. And I just alienated like all my viewers in France. All 2 of them. Mutarici and Zolvian. Sorry guys, I wasn't knocking the French language. Well, not really. Oh, right. So, obviously, if I had been using white sweet vermouth, this would be a lighter color than this. I do actually have a martini glass though, or something like it. And I'm supposed to be garnishing this with orange peel. I don't have oranges to peel. Again, I've been stuck in a blizzard. I've been trapped. And this bulk price episode ended. But I do have a slotted spoon. This is like totally ghetto-tastic. This is like the worst possible way I could be doing this. I hope I don't spill this. Oh man, what a mess that'll be. So I'm stirring it since I can't really shake it. Under these conditions anyway. So it's mixed. Oh, sorry, that was probably like below the camera. I always forget where this camera is actually angled. So, since I don't have a shaker, just mixing it in a glass coffee mug of ice. And then slotted spoon, pouring into martini glass. I'd be really careful not to make a mess. I mean, it's my room, so I guess it doesn't matter, but my room also has all these like electronics, so I can't suddenly have sticky, sweet liquids ruining my electronics and attracting bugs. But alright, here we go. This is my attempts to make something like the Brandtini that I've just served to say. That's actually pretty good. I do feel like my initial concern that it's entirely too much vermouth was like founded. I guess it's not too much orange liqueur though. So yeah, I would not do a 1-1 ratio. I wouldn't do as much vermouth as brandy and Grand Marnier, or in this case Cointreau. I would either do 2-1-1, where it's more brandy than vermouth or Cointreau, or I would do like maybe like a 2-1-2, where it'd be like a lot of brandy and orange liqueur, but only a little bit of vermouth. Yeah, an equal part vermouth cocktail, that's too much vermouth. I mean, granted, part of it could have been affected by the fact I'm using sweet red instead of sweet white, but... So, you saw it here. LotusCrane attempting to make the Brandtini from Valhalla using equal parts brandy, or in this case Calvados, sweet vermouth, and orange liqueur. In this case, Cointreau instead of Grand Marnier because I didn't have it because soufflés. But even so, even though this is kind of vermouth heavy, this is actually pretty nice. This might become like a regular cocktail for me. Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna like lay down for a nap before recording anything else because I've consumed entirely too much alcohol without actually having any real food in my stomach. Yeah, I'm LotusCrane. This has been Valhalla, or VA-11 Hall A, Cyberpunk Bartender Action. LotusCrane approved. I forget exactly how much I showed you, all the drinking. But graphics, music, story, gameplay, such as this, visual novel with a little bit of bartending action, so like a happier version of Papers, Please. All of these things, fantastic, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe you personally don't like this retro style, but I'm really happy to see this style of game survive into the present and future through the love and dedication of people who also love this stuff, who also love Bubblegum Crisis, clearly, and Blade Runner. And they're not just giving us stifled, like, museum pieces. These are still, like, new and vital. So they do draw from the past, but they also bring in the dreams and just talent of the future. Wow, I'm like... Can I mention this has actually turned out to be pretty good? And this is the first time I've made or tasted this. This was just inspired by me playing this game. Oh yeah. Yeah, LotusCrane approved. This game, this drink. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and again, I want to thank DonWitch03 for recommending this game, and Lady Bartender from Osteria, name starts with a K. You're awesome. And, oh yeah, I should also thank my friends Black Jeweled Artist and Crizal, because I'm going to be crashing at their place this weekend to celebrate. Woohoo! If you like this video, please remember to subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. I'm LotusCrane. Again, happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh man, that's actually really good. I'm LotusCrane signing off.